they're playing quite a high line, a risky line, Manchester City are, and you can see that Vinicius Junior is asking for the ball in behind. Um, Obviously Valverde plays it, and you're thinking surely he's offside, like surely Man City have played him offside, but no. As you can see in this image, what is if you actually look at the top of the screen, Kyle Walker, he's just completely playing him onside. I mean, I don't know how he's not seeing that because he's literally looking at him directly. What's up, guys? It's the Master Analyst here. If you're looking for unbiased and educated tactical analysis, you found the right channel. Manchester City 1, Real Madrid 1. Right, we're just going to take a look at the match statistics, as we usually do. If you look at the formation, we've got Manchester City lining up in a 3-2-4-1. They've got the three centre-backs, haven't they? Guardiola, Diaz, Walker. Then they've got holding midfielders in Rodri and Akanji. Akanji replacing John Stones, I assume, is not fully match fit. And then a midfield four of Grealish, Silva, De Bruyne, Foden, and then Haaland up top. Against Real Madrid's formation, simply a 4-4-2 with Vinicius Junior and Bellingham up top. If we take a look at the match stats, we look at the momentum bar firstly. That's a fair reflection of the game. Yeah, Man City in the light blue literally just completely dominated the possession. And we're going to take a look at essentially why they weren't able to break Real Madrid down. We look at the expected goals, so they definitely had chances to kill the game. If I think back at the Kevin De Bruyne chance to make it 2-1 towards the end of the game, that could have won it. But yeah, in terms of shots, 33 shots to 8. I mean, they certainly had their chances to kill the game off. If we look at the man of the match ratings on this website, they gave it to the goalkeeper, which kind of sums up how the actual game panned out. But yeah, we're going to take a look at the in possession and out of possession for both sides. Right, so we're going to take a look at the in possession and out of possession. Firstly, we've got Manchester City in possession. As you can see, Guardiola's got the ball on the halfway line. In terms of in possession, this is how they actually line up, how they actually like to keep the ball and progress the play. So you've got Guardiola on the halfway line, you've got Diaz as sort of cover, and obviously Walker. And if the opposition get a counter attack, he's always there. He's got the pace, the recovery pace to get back. You've got Rodri, he's always composed and always asks for the ball from the centre backs because he's so composed and competent when opposition teams are pressing him. You've then got Bernardo Silva at the bottom. He essentially played a free role. He's quite an intelligent footballer, so he identifies the space in front of him, and he sort of had a free role to sort of attack that space. And then either wings, you've got Phil Foden and Jack Grealish. They were essentially hugging the touchline. I've always said in my opinions on Phil Foden playing out wide on the right-hand side, I just don't think he gets enough touches of the ball. But evidently, Guardiola wants De Bruyne to have as many touches as possible because he plays him in his best position. Well, that's clearly he thinks that's his best position, is in the attacking midfield role, and then you've got Haaland up top. So essentially, they try and spread the play for either wings, and then by dragging the opposition out into the wings, actually create space in the centre for Kevin De Bruyne to do his magic. If we look at Manchester City out of possession, as you can see, Valverde's got the ball sort of in the middle, the middle third of the pitch. They were playing quite a risky line. I'm going to be totally honest with you, Manchester City. This image was taken sort of at the start of the game. So I assume this is how they were actually intending to set up. But yeah, Grealish and Foden were obviously having to retreat, and it essentially made a back six because of the threat in behind from Rodrigo and essentially Valverde and Carvajal. It meant that Foden and Grealish had to essentially drop back into a back six. But obviously it didn't pan out that way. But playing such a high line against the likes of Vinicius Junior, Rodrigo, it's a very dangerous game, and plenty of times they were able to get in behind, but luckily Edison was intelligent enough and quick enough to get off his line and anticipate the danger. And take a look at the Real Madrid in possession. So essentially, how they wanted to play, in my opinion, and let's be honest, this is just opinion, but this is how I saw the game panning out. Um, they wanted to essentially get Bellingham to drive with the ball because he's got such pace and power, and he's actually a lot stronger than a lot of people initially thought. He was essentially playing a target man, so the ball was being fed into him, and he was sort of taking it on the half turn and trying to run with the ball, and then trying to play the likes of Rodrigo and Vinicius Junior on the counter attack. Because obviously the way they were defending, that was the only way they could attack was on the counter attack. But yeah, they were trying to counter attack with Bellingham, driving the ball, and then looking for Rodrigo and Vinicius Junior. And then out of possession, this is the key thing, in my opinion, out of the game, is how they set up defensively. Real Madrid out of possession, but as you can see on this image, this is how essentially Manchester City with the ball. But if you look at Real Madrid without the ball, honestly, the way they set up was fantastic. Really, it was a simple 4-4-2, but this 4-4-2 meant that Nacho could be really touch tight with Haaland, and if you obviously limit Haaland's touches, and he becomes really isolated. And then Kroos was essentially man marking De Bruyne in the centre of midfield, which is obviously, if you can block De Bruyne and limit his touches, then you limit Manchester City in terms of what they can do through the centre. Rodri was so far back he was unable to dictate the play. But yeah, it was such a rigid shape and compact in the centre that they were essentially being forced to go out wide, Manchester City, all the time. And then Grealish had a lot of touches and a lot of possession of the ball, but he just doesn't have that clinical instinct in front of goal to actually kill games and create assists. He had an interesting battle with Carvajal, in my opinion. He got him a booking, but the interesting part for me was when Doku actually came on as a substitute for Grealish. That was the most important substitute for me, and that completely changed the game and sort of got Manchester City back into the game. But yeah, that's essentially in my opinion, how they set up in and out of possession. So I wanted to go over a key battle that I think personally changed the game. I spoke before about Grealish and the fact that he was running at Carvajal pretty much the entire game. He got Carvajal a yellow card. Carvajal's not getting any younger. And then by Guardiola bringing on Doku, I thought bringing on Doku, his game is really built around pace and running in behind. And I thought against Real Madrid, the way they were set up, there's essentially no space to run in behind into. But I underestimated his ability 1v1 to just literally find space. In my opinion, when he came on, honestly, he just didn't stop running at Carvajal. He was an absolute nightmare. I mean, when I look at key moments, but he created essentially the first goal, and then even he could have assisted Kevin De Bruyne for the winner, but obviously De Bruyne missed it. But honestly, the way he was just running at his man and just being so direct, it was really impressive, and it just goes to show that a different type of player can have a real impact on the game. Right, let's do a complete breakdown of the big moments in this insane match. Starting off with the first goal for Real Madrid. It was essentially just a long ball to Bellingham. He did an unbelievable touch, brought the ball down. He played out wide to Valverde, and then as you can see that they're playing quite a high line, a risky line, Manchester City are, and you can see that Vinicius Junior is asking for the ball in behind. Obviously Valverde plays it, and you're thinking surely he's offside, like surely Man City have played him offside, but no. As you can see in this image, if you actually look at the top of the screen, Kyle Walker, he's just completely playing him onside. I mean, I don't know how he's not seeing that, because he's literally looking at him directly. He can see when the ball is played, and yet he's still in the actual video itself, you can see he puts his hand up to appeal for offside when it's like, well, you can literally see across the line, mate. But yeah, that ball gets played in behind, and then essentially Real Madrid do a cut back, and then they end up scoring a rebound. But yeah, just poor defending, to be honest. It was sort of quite disappointing from Kyle Walker's perspective. Like, he's an experienced, he's the captain essentially. But yeah, he just switched off. I mean, if he had in my opinion, if he had a football brain to match that pace, he would be undoubtedly like one of the best players in the world. He obviously is, but to switch off like that in a Champions League semi-final, quite poor in my opinion. This chance for Kevin De Bruyne, maybe he could have laid it off for Foden, but you can't really blame him for taking a shot from that angle. Of all players, you probably back him to hit the target from that angle. Later on, I think Haaland sort of did a great turn on the halfway line. He played the ball out wide to Jack Grealish, and they're in behind essentially, but I just don't back Jack Grealish in front of goal. He hasn't got the best weak foot either, so yeah, it sort of just dwindled down. He just allowed Rudiger to get back into shape, and I'm pretty sure he shot with his left foot and he just got blocked, and he ended up hitting the side net. And so yeah, it was a wasted opportunity. If that was Doku, maybe then it might have been a different story. But this is Doku. When Doku got brought on for Jack Grealish, he essentially has an immediate impact. He essentially ran up against Valverde. He ran past him at the byline. I think it was a cross or a shot. I'm not 100% too sure either one, but it ended up Rudiger just did a really poor clearance, and it landed like just straight to Kevin De Bruyne. Like Rudiger tried to clear the ball completely, but it just landed straight to De Bruyne, and then he ended up just lashing it in the roof of the net. So that made it 1-1. And they are completely back in the tie at this point. And then literally carbon copy, like a few minutes later, Doku 1v1 with his man, runs down the byline. What does he do? He cuts it back for Kevin De Bruyne to win the game, and he belts it over the bar. So yeah, that was a massive moment, in my opinion. That could have essentially taken them through, but obviously you don't take your chances, and it ends up going to penalties. You just never know what's going to happen, do you? It's just a lottery at that point. Well, guys, that wraps up another video analysing another insane match. Sort of concluding thoughts. Real Madrid, essentially, it was a defensive masterclass if you look at it from their point of view. They're away at the Etihad. Obviously, they conceded a few chances, but in terms of what you expect to concede against Manchester City, they were just so resolute and compact in that 4-4-2 formation. Kevin De Bruyne should have finished the game off late on, a chance that he'll probably be having nightmares about. But yeah, that's another analysis video. It was an entertaining game, but unfortunately for the English perspective, Real Madrid are going through. But yeah, that wraps up another video. I just want to say thank you to everyone watching the video. Don't forget to like, comment your man of the match for that game. There's quite a few man of the matches. I'd probably go with the goalkeeper, to be honest with you. But yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and click the bell notification so that you never miss an upload. And I will see you guys next time. Peace.